Hi everyone. There has been an increased awareness on mental health and mental illnesses in past few years. Our government has also contributed by bringing into force the Mental Health Care Act 2017. When I started my journey in this field as a student of psychology, I remember family and friends being ignored about it and they would often ask me, ये कौन सा सब्जेक्ट है, क्या स्कोप है इसका, माइंड रीडिंग है, can you read my mind and tell me what am I thinking? But if you see today, we see that we have counselors in schools, colleges, hospitals who are imparting education and creating an awareness about mental health issues and listening to the relevant concerns of people. I'm happy to see that people are relatively aware about this topic and there is a reduce in stigma about it. People are acknowledging the importance of well-being in our personal, professional and social growth. So let's understand two terms, mental illness and mental health. Mental illness refers to health conditions involving changes in emotion, thinking, behavior or a combination of any of these. These are associated with distress and problems functioning in social, professional or family activities. Basically, mental illness एक ऐसा कंसर्न है जिसमें आपकी थिंकिंग, इमोशंस और आपका बिहेवियर जो है वो अफेक्ट होता है इन अनहेल्दी वे। आप एक कुछ ऐसी हैबिट्स या कुछ ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स को फेस करते हैं जो आपके इमोशंस और आपकी फिजिकल हेल्थ, बिहेवियर एंड थिंकिंग को बहुत ज़्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस करता है। अब दूसरा टर्म which is mental health, let's understand that. World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community, which basically means absence of mental illness. Now, let's understand the warning signs. Warning signs of mental illness. These can be different for different age group. Today I'm going to talk about warning signs of adolescents, youth and adults with any kind of mental health issue. These are dramatic changes in our eating and sleeping habits. Eating can be excessive, too low or sometimes normal, but the person tends to puke out. Then sleeping also too much or too less, or probably sleepwalking and other things involved in it. Then confused thinking or forgetfulness, prolonged sadness or irritability, feelings of extreme highs and low. अगर कोई बहुत ही शांत स्वभाव का है तो एकदम से सारे घर में there'll be a talk about it. या फिर अगर कोई बहुत ही फुदकता रहता है घर पे, वो आराम से शांति से बैठ जाए. That means the person needs attention and your care. Then excessive fears, worries and anxieties, social withdrawal, strong feelings of anger, seeing or hearing things that are not even there, which is also called hallucinations. Then growing ability to cope with daily problems and activities, numerous unexplained physical health issues. आपने कई बार सुना होगा, लोग बोलते हैं हमने इतने टेस्ट करवा लिए बट प्रॉब्लम का तो पता ही नहीं चल रहा, रिपोर्ट में तो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं आ रही। सो इन सिचुएशंस में हम देखते हैं कि हमारे स्ट्रेसेस जो हैं हमारे फिजिकल बॉडी पे इम्पैक्ट आना शुरू हो जाते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल, अब किसी को अगर बहुत गिल्ट फील हो रही होगी, उनका स्टमक एक इश्यूज बहुत फ्रीक्वेंट रहेंगे, या फिर अगर बहुत ज़्यादा लाइफ में बर्डन फील हो रहा है, चीज़ें मैनेज नहीं हो रही, तो शोल्डर एक्स एंड नेक एक्स will be something that you'll be seeing frequently as a health concern. Finally, resorting to substance abuse in times which are challenging and stressful. Substance abuses could be alcohol, smoking and drugs. Now let's understand how to reach out somebody who is showing these warning signs. In my opinion, there are two major ingredients required to reach out to a person with mental health concern. Love and acceptance. People do not talk about their mental health concerns because they feel scared of being judged, mocked, and in some cases being seen as weak or vulnerable. So when you're reaching out to people with these warning signs, first thing, listen carefully. Listen carefully without making any judgment and concentrate on the need at that very moment. Need of the person. Keep language neutral. It is very important that we keep language neutral while talking to the person and avoid any kind of labeling. You can say, why don't you tell me how are you feeling? Rather than saying, oh, I see that you're feeling low or depressed. Using terms like depressed is that you're labeling the other person and you have done your diagnosis that the person is depressed. So avoid it. It could be very scary for the other person to know that I'm feeling depressed in that very moment. Then repeat what they have said back to you to ensure that you've understood it. You don't have to agree with what they're saying, but you can show that you understand how they feel, and you can also let them know that you respect their feelings by avoiding any kind of confrontation. Ask them what would help them. Ask if there is someone they would like you to get in touch with or talk to. Encourage them to seek appropriate professional help. If they've hurt themselves, make sure that they get the first aid that they require. Similarly, when somebody reaches out to you, it is very important to take care of certain things. First of all, thank them. Thank them for trusting you, because it takes a lot of courage to speak somebody's mind out and talk about your inner feelings. Then appreciate them for the same. Appreciate them for being courageous enough to talk it out. Follow the above mentioned tips like talking to the other person, without any judgment, listening carefully with an open mind, repeating what they said, and ensuring that you keep that information to yourself and you're not spreading it out to the family and friends. Don't forget that someone has trusted you. But there is an exception. If you feel someone's life is at stake, then it is important to reach out to correct people and authorities. It is important to understand that somebody's challenges or concerns are not a topic of gossip. So avoid talking about their problems. Understand your limitations. Understand that you're not a trained professional. So encourage the other person to seek professional help. It is important to understand that no one is bad. It is their environmental and in some cases biological factors or a combination of both of them that is responsible for these mental health concerns. And they can be mitigated by using these two important ingredients, which is love and acceptance, and in most of the cases by taking appropriate professional help. Let's understand how to help one's own self. First is by accepting the feelings. Accept the fact that it is alright not to feel okay. You cannot always be happy. What is important is how we deal with those challenges and bounce back from it. Establish a support network. Whenever possible, seek support from your friends and family members. In case you are not able to reach out to them and you are not comfortable talking to them, then find help of support groups and self-help groups. These groups provide an opportunity for you to talk to other people who are going through same kind of experiences and problems. They can listen and offer valuable advice also. Finally, seek counseling. A trained mental health professional can suggest ways to cope better and understand you and your loved one's illness also better. So, whatever suits you best, take it ahead and have a good time and positive attitude. Bye-bye.